Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing? And welcome back, as per usual, to BRL. Now, I hope we are doing all very well indeed. And I've just forgotten, we don't have a qualifying, do we? So, anyway, hello, welcome, sprint race. We're here as per, and we're underway straight away. So it is reverse grid order. Oh my god, I completely forgot that there's something. Oh my god, there goes round the Haas. Right, I'm completely unprepared to start talking at the rate I need to. I thought we were just going to have a nice quiet introduction. That is not indeed the case. Right, okay. Let's get into it. So, as you know, sprint grid is reverse order, which is why Prodigy is currently leading, and sort of like J-Horse and whatnot is towards the back of the grid because those guys are leading the championship currently. Though, interestingly, the guy leading championship at the moment isn't actually here. Because what's his name? Oh, I had everything ready to talk to you about qualifying, and then I've forgotten that it's a sprint race, and we get started straight away. And oh, big bit of contact there happening there. So another thing I should mention. Oh god, there goes around the Haas. That's not a very good start for Marek. Either way, this is only a 10-lap race, so this is going to be a bit of a weird race. It's a very weird introduction to a race in the first place. Anyway, either way, sprint races, how they work is we get 10 laps, so a 50% sprint race, and it's based on reverse championship order with any reserve drivers or first-time full-time drivers behind the championship leaders. So they'll be starting at the back of the grid. I do actually have the sheet for it, but I don't think we're going to get to it, unfortunately. We are a tad busy anyway. These Red Bulls have just sodded off. Prodigy and Exilist have completely run away with it. They had a bit of a dodgy start to their season. They're two very competent drivers, and they are just making the most of this sprint race result and just working together to try and pull away as much as possible. And we've got absolute carnage in the midfield here as everybody scrambles to sort themselves out. Another thing I should mention as well, PRL did Bahrain a little while ago, and it was absolute carnage. So expect carnage. But I think that's already kind of beginning to happen as our Henson tries to go down the inside. Can he get the move stuck? Not quite. He's going to have to do the inside here. Force. Oh, the Aston Martin just clipping his wheel. So round goes our Henson. He drops down to P10. He'll probably drop another couple of places because of that. Kodoy having to defend from J-Horse there, who's now beginning to put the pressure onto the two Williams just in front. J-Horse, Kodoy, Mr. Cookie, sat P7 to 5. Either way, it is fairly quiet out on track at the moment. The two front drivers have sort of just ran away with this practically immediately, and I was completely unprepared for that start to the race. I'm going to be totally honest. Just was not ready for it. Right. Well, it's going to be this midfield fight that we're going to see somebody go for a move, so I'm going to stick with it. As I imagine, with DRS opening next time round, it should be a pretty good opportunity for somebody to try and go for a move. But I think Cookie's going for it. Right up at the front of of these runners. He's going to have to try and take it around the outside, and I think he's going to be able to open the door for his teammates to be able to go through as well. But is his teammate going to be able to put the pressure onto Cookie? I think not. He's going to have to just fight Kodoy, but it's going to be 3 wide. The two Aston Martins go side by side here, slotting through nicely, and J-Horse coming out with a double overtake around that corner. Very, very impressive. He got the Williams through first, then he's got his teammate, and sort of getting his teammate at the same time as forced Ajeza back down to P7. Kodoy nicking P6 here. So J-Horse will begin his assault onto Mr. Cookie. I imagine at the rate he's going, it's going to be just a matter of corners before he's right on the back and trying to go for the position. But Mr. Cookie is ever so slightly out of DRS zone. Whether he's able to get it before the detection point, which is just before the final 2 turns, I think he will get it in the end. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue for him. He'd like to think that he can get into that DRS zone. That's just going to help pull him along. Currently not in it though. He's got to be within a second once he gets to this green dotted line. And I think he might just have been. I don't know when that ticks. So here we go. Will Cookie get DRS? The answer is no. All of a sudden, this opens the opportunity for J-Horse to get a good run. Can he get it done? Nope, not quite. J-Horse certainly getting closer, but just not quite close enough. Either way, he'll be having plenty more laps to try and go for something just ever so slightly behind as well. Look at this, the Ferrari and Aston Martin going for it. Kresnos down the inside, gets the move done, and he is going to allow the Alfa Romeo to come through with that move as well, pushing the Aston Martin offline so much. It has given him just an easy opportunity to get through. Let's say through sector 2, it is awfully quiet out on track. It always has been the case. Let's see all the cars coming through. J-Horse a lot closer this time around than he was last time. Is this going to be the time for him to get it? Issue is though, Mr. Cookie's now got DRS on the back of Blackbone, so this could be a bit of a challenge. And Cookie is going to go for it here. And I think this is also going to open the opportunity for J-Horse to get through at the braking zone. Yes, it is. J-Horse is going to be able to siphon through. He's not going to be able to go for an attack on Mr. Cookie just yet. But he has got himself into a much better position because now Mr. Cookie has got absolutely no hope of DRS in front of him. 5.2 seconds now, that gap. Practically impossible to try and go for a move. Huge help for for J-Horse. Issues for Mr. Cookie, but we have still got 5 laps of racing to go, so plenty of time for the two to swap places multiple times. Oh, holding back there. Now, is this going to be Miss J-Horse's opportunity to go for the move? I'm not too sure. I mean, he's close enough, I'd say. 0.4 of a second is plenty of time. He is going to go for it. He is going to go for it. Down the inside at 1. Can he make the move, stick in the braking zone? Just about. Mr. Cookie might get an opportunity here to go for the switchback. He gets a much better run outside the last, out those corners. And with the DRS, he is going to pull away almost immediately. J-Horse is going to have to come up with something a little bit better than that if he wants to keep that position. And the quietness begins once again. I've just realised, right, in my moments of forgetting it was a sprint race, you can't actually hear any sound, can you? All you can hear is my voice. That's because there's nothing plugged into the Elgato. So I'm going to sacrifice, and be glad about this, I'm going to sacrifice my ability to hear the race so you can. And we got a virtual safety car. Lord knows why. Genuinely, absolutely no. Oh, there's a Alpha Tauri stopped. That is our back of Alligator. He's DNF'd. That's a really weird place to DNF. What caused that? Either way, we got a virtual safety car. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention. I will be perfectly honest. But this brings everybody to a standstill and pretty much everybody to the pit lane. Oh, we got a full safety car. That'll be why. I've just said that like I haven't just been watching Exodus be lapped behind the safety car. Sometimes my inability to see things is my true downfall. Right, well, whilst they're doing that, I'm going to get a drink. I still haven't got one. Got a nice little, well, as a scouser may say, a can of Coke. And a sparkling water because I'm weird like that. Righty, well, we're going for another lap. Just what we want. I've put my headphones on like I'm going to hear something. I'm not. I can keep my headphones off, actually. So that's the one benefit. I can actually hear myself a little bit better. I mean, I'd show you what the lineup was, but it's not going to make a whole lot of difference, is it? Because, well, right. So, only other thing I do. I'm fairly certain I mentioned this. Um, Obviously, how this finishes is then how our race starts. And it's quite nice because a 50% sprint race is basically about 20 minutes, which is exactly the same length as a qualifying. Well, qualifying's 18, but you know it's close enough that it is acceptable. So hopefully we get started the end of this lap. It means we will literally have 2 laps of racing, of which now Mr. Cookie and J Horse have been able to catch up to the Red Bulls with this safety car. Yeah, huge issue for the Red Bulls now because they had a guaranteed 1-2 on this sprint race. And now, okay, Mr. Cookie's got a penalty. What magnitude? 3 seconds. And Exilist hasn't pits. So I'm sensing either a Prodigy or J Horse win here. I think it's going to be really difficult for Exilus to win and downright impossible for Cookie to win. Either way, Exilus has led us off from the start. His teammate follows in very, very close succession. Ferrari coming in as well. That is Kresnos trying to go for the move on J-Horse, and it's going to be a swap of the Red Bulls up at the front. Is it going to be a swap of the Ferrari and the Aston Martin? Not quite finished just yet. He gets through. Miss J-Horse stays in position for now. It's just a matter of how much longer can he keep hold of it. The Williams had a little look. So does Kresnos. Both elect against it just behind Kodoy. Defending massively from Tommy to try and keep the position, and just in front, Mr. Cookie has indeed gone for it and is up to P2. Exilus falls down to P3. J-Horse in P4 at the moment. He's still got to get past this Red Bull and try and get past Cookie at the exact same time, and look at that, he gets through so nice and easily. It's a bit of an awkward corner to try and go for the move, but a big help for... Whoa! Whoa! Kresnos went for that move. Jesus Christ. So not only did Kresnos follow J-Horse through and past Exilus, he's just trying to go for a move at 10. Like, unless your name is Fernando Alonso, you don't go for a move at 10. That's just not what you do. So fair play to him for going for it. It's brave, to say the very least. But it didn't quite pull off, so it's not exactly the end of the world. Mr. Cookie beginning to put a bit of a gap between him and J-Horse, the man that's pretty much followed him throughout this race. J-Horse up 11 places. Just phenomenal stuff as Exilus falls down another place yet again. He's just tumbling down the grid with everybody sort of just going absolutely crazy around him. I think the Mercedes is going to be able to stake. That is incredible from Blackbone. And oh, there goes round Exilist. Not sure what caused that. Whether he just got a slight touch from somebody, I'm not too sure. But Exilist down P13. It's not the position he'll be wanting to start this race in, especially considering he ran from pretty much the lead of the race the entire time. I don't even know whether Prodigy got a lap in before this lap just prior, but Prodigy looking in a really comfortable place to take this win at the moment. Penalty wise, Mr. Cookie's probably looking to lose quite a lot of time here. He's probably going to drop down to P4ish at the moment on those penalties. Very, very dangerous stuff from Mr. Cookie. I think that 3-second penalty is going to do him nothing but a world of bad. J-Horse looking pretty comfortable now from Kresnos. He's unable to make much of a move. Our Henson is pretty close to the back of Jackalako, but I don't know, and I doubt he's going to be able to go for a move. And oh my god, what's happened there? Kresnos and J-Horse have had an absolute... J-Horse must have had an absolutely nightmare there, because to not lose that position on the final corner, or final braking zone, this is indeed the final corner now, and there we go. Kresnos flies past to take P. Whoa, J-Horse just tumbling down the order. Why is he fallen? Oh, and back up to P2 with the fastest lap. Oh, I'm lost. I'm so lost. But he was behind. Like, I think we've just had the biggest lag spike known to mankind. So, J-Horse, deservingly driver of the day. He's absolutely climbed through there. Either way, we'll be getting started in just a moment's time. But importantly, let's take a quick look at what our grid will be for the race. So Prodigy will start on pole position and J-Horse will start P2. Kresnos to start P3 and Mr. Cookie to start P4. Blackbone on P5 and Tommy on P6. Jackalako in P7 and our Henson will start P8. Jezza will start P9 and Hazard will start in P10. Anthony in P11 and he'll be joined by Marak in P12. Exilus P13 and Kodoy in P14. Smiri Tyson in P15 and Alligator in P16. At the back of the grids, we lose out on our back two rows. They are not here. Right, well, we should be getting started any moment now. One, two, three, four, five. Red lights, and it's a very quick start. And Prodigy leads off quite poorly, actually. He'll nearly open the door for J-Horse, but J-Horse has had an absolutely awful second half to that start. Opens the door. Mr. Cookie and Kresnos immediately take it. Kresnos able to keep himself in P2 as Mr. Cookie takes up P3 for now. J-Horse falls back to P5 as he's just falling down and down the grid. He goes down to P6. All gone horribly, horribly wrong for him. And Tommy gets launched by our Henson, who flies up into P4 with a really strong start to this race. He started on the set of soft tyres, so unsurprisingly, gets himself in a really good position to start the race immediately. And Jackalacko, J-Horse losing another position. And oh, big night. Whoa, what on earth just happened there? I've got no idea. Either way, but J-Horse now falls down to P9. Down nearly to P10 as Kodoy looks to go for a move. It's gone absolutely horribly wrong for him. For the most part, in the middle of the pack, it stayed pretty quiet. But whoa, I don't even know what on earth happened there. Utter chaos, to say the very least. But that is just lap one. And J-Horse, once again, losing another position. Is just going horribly wrong for him. He's gone from P2 down to P13 in a matter of a lap. And it might be more still to come, as all of a sudden Alligator and Blackbone look to go for a move. I feel like he must be an AI at this point, but he's not. He's still here, but look at how slow he is. I mean, Smeary Titan's basically keeping up to pace with him, and he's just not driving like how he does. He's braking really early. He's steering funny. I've got no idea what on earth is going on. Nevertheless, let's take a little look up towards the front because that just confuses me. For the most part, it is general chaos as per usual. Just welcome. Oh, that's a stunning little move if he pulls this off. Exilist, can he get it on the acceleration? Not quite, but great car positioning and a very late move. As Tommy there sneaking past our Henson as... Oh, what's happened there? That's Mr. Cookie that's gone flying into the barriers. He's just about got himself going once again. Falls to P7 in the doing. And it's just... everything that could go wrong is going wrong. This is so peculiar. Right, well, Prodigy, unsurprisingly, fastest lap. He's running really comfortably at the moment, I've got to say. He's got Kresnos a little bit behind him, but it's not like... Whoa! Little bit of contact there from Jackalacko. Exodus manages to keep himself in one direction, has come back masterfully. P5 already, up 8 places. I've done an absolutely fantastic job to get himself all the way up there. So let's see how that can continue, because that's very interesting that he's gained that many places so quickly. I know, obviously, he was in an unfortunate situation where it all just went a little bit wrong for him, and J-Horse retires from the session. As I think must be one of the strangest incidents I've just about ever seen. I have absolutely no idea what was happening with J-Horse, but on lap 3, he is out of the race. Games just retired me for no reason. So J-Horse didn't elect to do that. That's weird. This lobby don't seem right, you know. I don't like it. Because I think Anthony's going to go for a move here. Can he get it to the outside? Not quite. I think he's going to be able to go for it here and just in front as well. Kodoy and Jezza. Let's see how that pans out. Not a whole lot happens. Anthony's absolutely shot it and gone for it. So fair enough as Tommy manages to get in. Yeah, J-Horse, I saw on Discord you said that it's just retired you for no reason. I mean, if you want to sort of watch back what happened in the stream, I don't know what happened. You just retired. It didn't look like anything in particular. Um, you sort of just disappeared straight away. It was very weird. Unfortunately, we weren't on board with you when it happened, so I can't say that. Oh yeah, I watched you retire because I didn't. Um, but yeah, I was very confused. Nevertheless, that makes, I guess, a bit more sense. It looked like your game was struggling. To be fair, um, sort of from about lap 9 of the sprint race. So I've got no idea. I mean, you're more than welcome to join me in comms box if you fancy. I'm weirdly struggling today. Everything just seems a little bit off and very laggy. I don't know. Is it lagging for everybody else? I've genuinely got no idea. If it is, I'll try and fix it. As everything is beginning to quieten down. That's Blackbone just coming into the pits. Interesting enough, he's gone for a set of soft tyres. And we'll look at Kodoy because he's running very close to his teammate as Mr. Cookie. I think not quite. That's close though. Kodoy putting the pressure on Cookie, who's not living up to quite the expectations he would have so wished to have at the start of today. Either way, he is just about managing it on what's it, those hard set of tyres by the looks of it. Yeah, set hards. Should probably check the tyres, shouldn't we? So for the most part, medium and softs across the front of the board. Oh, that's just going to fly through. Williams flying through to overtake his teammate. Very calmly done. As I think Cookie's going to be able to go for the move back here. Down the inside. Yes, he is. Very nicely changed over there. So I think we got a little bit of a healthy battle between the two teammates. That is what I love to see. It's so boring when, what's it, teammates just, they don't interact with each other or they just keep helping each other along. No, I want to see teammates fight. I want to see them scrap. I want to see them go for it. It's always great to see. Righty, well, still awfully quiet out on track. This is pretty much our battle at the moment. I'm going to keep an eye on Kresnos and Prodigy because they are getting reasonably close to each other, which I like the idea of because it means, oh, we got to fight. But they do look probably a bit too far away from each other to try and go for a move into turn 1. But you never know with Kresnos. He could absolutely wing it and just go for a madness. He's not going to. So can Kodoy come back once again and try and go for the same move down the front straight? Yes, he is. I don't know who was in front at the DRS line there. I'm going to be brutally honest. That was incredibly close. But Mr. Cookie has managed to escape And Kodoy does have DRS once again, so he's going to be able to come onto the back. Same move that Cookie made a lap prior. Can he get it done? Not quite. Little bit of flaying around from both drivers. But Mr. Cookie holds that position for now. Damage-wise, doesn't look too limited. Doesn't look very much at all, if at all any, which is good for both drivers. As for the most part, it's still quiet up and down the track. This very different to sort of what I was almost expecting a little bit, because we had such a mental one out last time round. I think Kodoy might actually go for a move here. You don't usually go for a move at 11, but he's going to give it a shot. Cookie's going to have to sweep around the outside if he wants to try and keep hold of this position. This time round, he's going to have the inside line up the hill. Can he keep it? Not quite, but he will have the addition of the braking zone, but it's not going to be enough. Kodoy falls himself. Oh, they make a little bit of collision, and Kodoy slams into the wall. It's a yellow flag there in Sector 3, and a front end plate missing for the Williams car as he makes collision with the Williams car. So overall, it's a Williams woes of worry, and it's a Western tragedy. I'm just trying to think of W's. It's all gone a bit wrong for Kodoy as he comes into the pit lane. As Mr. Cookie, it's going a bit wrong for him as well, because he's just lost places to Anthony and Hazard. They now sit P9 and P8 respectively, and Cookie's fallen down to P10 and could possibly lose further still, to Alligator just behind. All of a sudden, Williams has gone from giving us all of the entertainment to absolutely none of it whatsoever. Well, Mr. Cookie could still give us some entertainment with this McLaren Alpine and AlphaTauri combo, but I'm not too sure how it's going to turn out for any of these drivers. This could be an absolute calamity for the lot of them. Did you see McLaren have launched their own new livery? I was very surprised. I think just the same as everybody else. It's a shame how they're all just becoming one colour in black, though. That's quite boring. I can't lie. It's all weight saving, though, isn't it? It's unsurprising. Like, yeah, I'd like to see interesting cars, but if they can save 2 kilos, they'll save 2 kilos, you know. They'd much rather have a bland car, but a fast car. Unlike the Ferrari, they'll still be red, and they're still going to soar into the lead. And probably the Red Bull. The Red Bull will stay the same as well, because whenever do the Red Bull change. Kresnos there, slotting himself into the lead of the race. Prodigy has to subside for P2, but I think it will be likely that he'll come back sooner rather than later. I can't see this not finishing. That's the word I'm looking for. I can't see this. No, I can't see this ending anytime soon. There we go. Words. Isn't that brilliant? Right. Tommy is beginning to get in on this fight, you know. He's beginning to get in. I think, you know what, give it a lap and Tommy is going to be a serious contender in this. All of a sudden, actually, maybe not even. I say give it now. Tommy, all of a sudden, has just snuck his way up here. I'm also wondering how long are these mediums going to last. I'm going to say to about lap 13, 14-ish. Considering halfway marks lap 15, that seems about right as they just run in tandem. Not an awful lot's happened there, but what is going to happen back here are Henson and Jackalacco going to swap positions once again. I feel like that's just becoming a bit of a habit at this point. Just slightly behind though, and I think we got a McLaren trying to look for a move. Anthony tries to go for it at Hazard. Is he going to be able to get it done? No, not quite. Blocks it off nicely so Cookie can't then try and capitalise on the situation, but he is going to be able to go for the move here. Can he get it done? Not quite. The McLaren with a brilliant straight line speed is going to have to force Cookie to try and do it through the corner and on acceleration. Can the Haas beat out The hards. They still run side by side now. Through the left-hander they go. Will they remain side by side? No, not quite. The McLaren does indeed slip back into P9 there. Mr. Cookie put in one hell of a fight in, but it hasn't quite worked out for him just yet. But don't expect anything to change anytime soon. As interestingly enough, excuse me, Prodigy running away. Sorry, no, Kresnos running away a little bit. 1.3 seconds that gap now, but Tommy right on the back of Prodigy. So that could be very, very interesting as to see, you know, if Tommy does get past, is he going to be able to just blast past Prodigy and sort of then catch up to Kresnos? Is Prodigy going to be able to follow Tommy to Kresnos? I've got no idea. All I know is this could be interesting. So we're going to watch it as Tommy has indeed made that move down the straight. That's surprising to say the very least. I knew he was quite close, but I did think, you know, he'd give a little bit of caution, but he's just absolutely winged it. Mr. Cookie's had a huge look there, but decided not to go for it in the end. I wonder why. Righty, well, I'm going to leave you on Cookie, because Cookie looks like the closest. And I will be back in just a brief moment. I'm back. Righty, what a mess. Nothing by the looks of it. Everything looks identical. Great. Perfect. Righty, well. Oh, Jezero. Oh, Henson into the pit lane. So those soft tyres finally giving way. Exodus continues to hang on to them. Alligator comes into the pit lane as well. Blackbone probably won't need to, but Smeary Tyson, I imagine, will. Oh, he's DNF. Or, well, not in the lobby. So Exodus just holding on for these tyres for one more lap, I imagine. I can't see him going much longer. Interestingly enough, Exodus and Prodigy now separated by one position, just how they were before, but 4.6 seconds this gap then. It's slightly fine as well. This group of drivers still going at it. It's like they've got a right problem with each other. They're just constantly scrapping. Either way, he's very quiet, isn't it? Oh, I'm very happy to say as well. I know, right, like BRL and PRL are supposed to be two different things. I just don't see it that way because they use the same channel, they use the same commentator. I'll talk about them interchangeably. So you may have seen if you are part of PRL, if you do watch, we've got some new commentators. I know. Ooh, I'm gonna have a co-commentator. Ooh, I like. If you don't know, I have been solo comms for the vast majority of my time at BRL and PRL. I had J Horse on comms with me for season 3 as he's going for it. Anthony's finally going to go for it. It's only taken him about 15 laps. He isn't going to quite pull off this time round, but he is going to get the help of DRS now down this straight. Can he get the move done? Running in. All of a sudden, he's under pressure from Cookie. Alpine doing a fantastic job at keeping himself in front, but there we go. They all slot back into place, and Jobsakun and Kresnos spun. Oh, Kresnos spun. Oh, God, yeah, he did. Jesus Christ. I didn't notice that. Cheers, J-Horse. Oh. I'm as blind as a bat, honestly. Either way, for the most part, I've always been a solo commentator. Um, so I'm actually, yeah, I had J Horse for season 3, and that's been it. Every other time I've been solo. So to have, even if it is just one of the leagues, just to have a co-commentator, it is bliss. Because it just means A, I get a moment to breathe sometimes, and B, you don't get those weird awkward moments of silence when I'm like taking a drink or something, or where I'm when I'm just sort of zoned out and contemplating life. Sometimes it's nice to have somebody else talk, so, kick your brain back in and say, "Oh yeah, you are commentating. Hurry up now. It's been silent for just that little bit uncomfortably too long." Um, so yeah, and you don't get those big because I can just stop talking and let my co-commentator fill in. Loads of people are coming to the into the pits now. For the most part, everybody's swapped over. Cookie, Jezza, and Smeary, they are the last drivers out. Um, Smeary, I'm not really counting because it's a ghost. So Jezza and Cookie. Oh, and Anthony, they're still holding on. As speaking of these two, having a scrap, Cookie gets the move round the outside there. Can he slot it through? He'll have the inside for this corner. There we go. The McLaren had a little look on the switchback, but no, he is too far back to really go for that move. So, Cookie up to P2 now, but obviously yet to pit. So, is it really a P2? I'm not going to say so. I'm going to say it's probably more like sort of where they were, P9, we're back with Alligator, back with Hazard. Whether they can get the overcut, though, you never know. That could be a big benefit for them if they can nab the overcut. They say that, though. Overcut is just so difficult to pull off. These two, oh my God, they're close. Tommy's going to go for it. He's managed it. He's run down that line. Oh, Mr. Cookie really losing the back end there as he squirms into the pit lanes. He's had enough of those tyres. He's coming in. Anthony, he thinks that he's still got something left in the locker. Can he pull it off? Gets a decent braking zone. No, he doesn't. Overshoots it. Going to allow the Alfa Romeo to take the opposite corner configuration. Doesn't quite pull it off without DRS. And in fact, actually now under pressure from Prodigy, who goes for the move. Can he get it done? Not quite. That almost looked like a little bit of contact there. Not too sure. Everything got kind of blocked off and everybody got in the way of each other. I couldn't actually see what was going on. But Tommy there, good God, he's on one, isn't he, Tommy? He's managed to sneak past Anthony there as well, as Anthony then drops behind Prodigy. So Tommy and Prodigy are on the fresher set of tyres, but Tommy got a 5-second time penalty. I imagine it was for speeding in the pit lane. I wasn't paying all that much attention, so it could be something completely different. I imagine it is that. Right. What else we got? What else we got to talk about? That's not very close, is it? You know what? I'm going to stay up here. It's actually surprisingly refreshing to have the drivers at the front of the grid fighting, because it rarely happens. As Jezza into the pits, and so is Anthony. I was about to say, I mean, I know he's on the hards, but still, um, Prodigy and Tommy now so close to one another. Prodigy gets a decent run, but I think Tommy's going to be able to go for it. Down the inside he goes and back up to P1 once more. Tommy doing a very good job here at just controlling Prodigy's pace. He let him through for a little bit, gave him a false sense of security, add him back just like that. Though you will notice that does happen quite a lot. Somebody goes for a move at turn 1 and then the other person goes for a move at turn 4 because it's just so easily done. Like, so long as you just get a fine outcome out of turn three, out of that triple corners, you're fine. Right. I fear I'm going to need some new drivers to watch soon. But these two are still fairly highly competing, you know. Oh God! I'm about to say loads of driver positions, but Exodus have just come into the pits. That'll be why. Yeah, there's a few moves going on, but it's a bit quiet at the moment. It's all quiet on the I'd say on the western front. It's the eastern front. Oh, Exodus has been kicked out. Oh no! Oh, that's so annoying. Um, that's happening to Exodus quite a lot now, isn't it? That is a shame. That is a shame. That is, I think, the perfect analogy. That is a shame. You know who I'm gonna watch? I'm gonna watch Cookie because he's right on the back of Jezere. I reckon you can go for it. Speaking of, done. Just like that. A move out of turn 10. I just thought you want to watch that and drink that in. But there we go. Cookie, he's given us our 30 seconds of entertainment. But Jezzy, you never know. He can come back. He certainly can. He's only, what, 2/10 behind. He's literally right on the back of the gearbox. I'll give him every single chance to go through here. So long as he follows through nicely and gets a decent enough acceleration, which is exactly what he's going to do. Quarter of a second. I think it's almost impossible not to get past such close range. Jezza down the inside. Move made. And with no major issues, Kresnos gets past Alligator, I think, in a very similar fashion. As, whoa, these two once again going at it. Mr. Cookie is going to hold position. He didn't have DRS, I don't think. I think it was the Aston Martin that had DRS. No, it would have. No, no. What am I on about? Of course, it would have been the Williams that had DRS because Jezza just snuck through. And he, yeah, my brain is working well. Clearly, everything's yeah, just cracking, eh? Just cracking. Jezza's gone for it again, you know. Justin. Up to P6, very well done. These two putting on a much more of a fight than I was expecting. I was expecting just one of them to run away with it, but they're just going at it, bout for bout. This is all of a sudden a lot more interesting than I thought it was. I know it's only the battle for P6, but come on. I think Cookie's going to go for it again. Yeah, oh, that's easy. Easily done. Easily done. He hasn't really had to put much thought into that. Gets himself through. Obviously, this is a medium and hard battle as well. So, really, Jez is doing a good job to keep up at the moment, where Mr. Cookie should be significantly faster. A huge help for the Aston Martin driver here because then once his tyres kick in and become the more dominant set, in theory, he should run away with this a little bit. Right, well, Mr. Cookie got a bit more of an advantage this time round than he has at any other points. 7/10. It's significantly more than we've seen so far. So hopefully, for him, he breaks out. But hopefully for us, he doesn't. So we get a fight still. Half a second. It's plausible, not impossible, but only plausible, I'm going to say. At least to catch up here and go for a move at 4 would be a possible idea. Cookie as well, I've just noticed, he's now within DRS of our Henson. They've been catching up to Hard Henson this whole time, and only now has he just managed to get into the DRS zone, which does put the pressure on Jezza to keep up with them. Because obviously now Cookie doesn't have the detriment of not having DRS. So this could be an interesting little three-way fight, you know. Because our Henson is on older hard tyres, so in theory he should be the slower driver of the three, and I think that kind of shows a little bit there, as Cookie is going to get past down this back straight with the help of DRS. And I think Jezza might just be able to sneak through here up the left-hander. Yep, cuts off to the right slightly to assure P6. Just in front as well. Hazard very close to the back of Jackalacco. These two are running in a really good spot, you know, Hazard and Jackalacco. Both on 6-lap-old tyres. Jackalacco in particular, because he's on the hard, so he's going to be able to run those to the end really easily, whereas those... What's it? Words. Those soft tyres that Hazard have got on at the moment, they are going to struggle, if not be dead, by the end of the race. So, what could I say? I think Jackalacco really is in a great position for this. Prodigy is just hanging around behind the back of Tommy. He knows he doesn't need to pass Tommy. He just needs to stay within that DRS zone, as to not let Tommy run away with the 5-second penalty he needs to run away with. But Jackalacco at the moment, okay, he has just lost a position, but I still think he's in a really good, like, technical position, if that makes sense, because he's got that bit of advantage just behind as well. Our Henson and Jezza beginning to get roped into a bit more of a fight here, allowing Mr. Cookie to open up a bit of a gap already. So Cookie sort of sitting right slap bang in the middle of these two fights at the moment. So hopefully for him, he'll catch up to Jackalacco and Hazard and start getting involved in that, because he's in the same position pretty much as Jackalacco, but obviously he's got a good run and he is on a slightly fresher medium tyre. Bang, in comes Hazard to swap out those hards. So all of a sudden, exactly what we were saying, Jackalacco versus Mr. Cookie, the fight is on. Right, well, let's stick with these two, because these two are fighting very closely, I must say. Jezza is really unable to get past our Henson. Our Henson's having absolutely none of it. Our Henson knows as well that he needs to... Sorry. Our Henson knows that pretty much now the positions he loses are just the positions he's going to lose. So he just needs to keep people backed up as much as he physically can. Otherwise, he's finished, to be fair. think he's doing it rather well, as you know. I'm going to switch to Cookie because I think Cookie is going to go for a move on Jackalacko here. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Round the outside, it's a beautifully done move. Anthony, hence all three of them are going for it. The McLaren swoops through in front of both. Jez has managed to get himself up a position and get himself in front of the Haas, but losing out that place to Anthony. And all of a sudden, towards just in front, Jackalacko and Mr. Cookie once again going at it. Can Cookie get it around the outside? He's going to have to go to the outside here. He'll have the inside next corner round. And he does indeed get it through. And Anthony gets himself into P5, and Jezza loses a place to Arhenson once again. Arhenson keeping him behind into P6. Arhenson goes, so Arhenson's lost place, Jezza's lost 2, and Anthony's gained 2. So big win there for Anthony. He might be able to close that gap down within the next 6 laps or so, but he's going to have to really put his foot down if he wants to try and pull it off. Hazard, obviously he came into the pit lane not too long ago. He's got, 10 seconds. So I think pretty comfortable position for Hazard. He's set in stone. But this is still fairly close. And Prodigy is still just hanging on to that DRS of Tommy. And he knows that he can't break it. But he also, it's all right if he gets like kind of close. That was Marek. Going once again, which is nice. As Jackalacko now beginning to nearly lose it to the back of Mr. Cookie. But just about holding on to it. And here we go. Here comes Jezza into P6. Gets the move done pretty comfortably into turn 1. Only issue is he's now going to have turn 4 to deal with. And Kresnos is beginning to get involved in this fight. He'll be wanting to try and get through. Because he was on for a very good position before it all went a little bit wrong for him. But it's not going to be our Henson's corner to try and go for a move. So I'll have to wait until next lap. Either way, Kresnos already beginning to put the pressure onto the back of the Haas. He is going for it. Kresnos knows that he just needs to gain as many points here as he can because these are all important points. And right now, P6 looks a lot better than P8. I know it's not plausible massively, but you never know. It still can be done, just, I think. Well, that 24 or 29 will be lap 25 by the time he probably goes for a move if he doesn't go for a move at the final corner. So just over 4 laps remaining to try and get a move done from this lot. Kresnos really putting the pressure on. Our Henson keeping fairly close to the back of Jezza as well. So he's still leaving that opportunity to go for a move once again. These three following in tandem. Ferrari breaks off from that tandem. He breaks back in. The Haas is going to switch to the inside there. The Ferrari's going to try and follow through. Can't quite. Haas has to go around the outside. Can he get the move done? No, not quite. Does open the door for the Ferrari to try and sneak through. Does just about manage it. So that's Kresnos up into P7 and now significantly gaining on the back of Jezza. Can he try and get the move? No, he does go defensive. Breaks the opportunity for the Haas to try and go for the move there and does so nicely. So Kresnos secures that P7 out of the 2 most likely overtaking opportunities, but it's not like we haven't seen people do other things. So there we go. Henson holding P8 for now, and Jezza just holding on to P6. But I fear Kresnos is about to really put quite a lot of pressure on him. If it's not this straight, I imagine the back straight will be a prime time target for the Ferrari to try and go for a move. As Blackbone has got no game sound. Isn't it funny how this game is what, like eight months old now? If no, 6 months old, and it's still broken. They just never chose to fix it. It's quite funny, really. Kresnos now look right on the back, less than 2/10 coming through that corner. Has to break free a little bit, but is going to have DRS now down this main straight. Can he get it done? He's going to have to switch to the inside. The Aston Martin tries to go defensive, but it's not going to be enough. The Ferrari does indeed get past. And Kresnos up into P6. A much more preferable position for the Ferrari driver, as he will probably just look to defend this position. I doubt he'll be able to gain the 3 seconds necessary to get onto Anthony. So, yeah, I'm going to say he'll probably remain P6, but keep solid defensive ability. And that is exactly what he's going to need. So it's up to him now to try and hold that position. Jezza will want absolutely none of it. He'll be wanting to try and get past straight away. He's fought so hard throughout this second half of the race. He's constantly been in a battle with somebody. And just as I say that, he's slammed into a wall. Full. Oh, Nelly. Oh, Nelly. Oh, Nelly. Oh, the commentator's curse hasn't just striked. It has rained down hellfire. Jezza, oh, he'll push for it. He pushes too hard. He's spun the rears and he's slammed into a wall. And now we got a full course safety car. It's just, of course it was gonna happen. Of course it was gonna happen. Oh. Right, everybody coming in. Tommy has served the penalty as well, can I also say. So, Prodigy is going to come out in front. But he's not going to come out 5 seconds in front, because he's only going to come out a car length in front, because they're going to be behind the safety car. So, Tommy's come out P2, obviously with, may I say, softs. Everyone's softs. Mr. Cookie's going to come out P3, Jackalaka P4, Anthony P5, Kresnos P6, Ihans P7, Hazard P8, Alligators P9, Kodoy's not had an opportunity to come in yet, so that will be why. Right. So this changes the game a little bit, because Cookie was, 12 seconds behind. He'll now be about 6 tenths, about 5-6 tenths. All of a sudden, Cookie's got an opportunity to win this race. Tommy's now got to overtake Prodigy to win this race, but at the same time, he wasn't going to win it anyway, because he had that 5-second time penalty. So Tommy's now got an opportunity to win this race. This isn't just Prodigy's race to win. This is now Prodigy's race to lose. He's also been given the helping benefit of now sitting at the front. He gets to set the pace. He gets to set off the starting point. And that kind of defeats that first braking zone as an opportunity for a move. But then he's got to put in a defensive shift here. Prodigy's got to go in for a defensive shift. Tommy and Cookie have just got to give it everything they've got. Safety car's in this lap, unsurprisingly. It's going to give us 2 laps of racing, which will probably be some of the most mental racing you've seen all season, which isn't difficult considering we've only had 1 round. Righty. Prodigy will set us off. It's his race to lose. It's been his race to lose the entire time. But now sitting at the front, ready to lead us away from the safety car. It hangs all on the Red Bull shoulders. He's got the Alfa Romeo and the Williams sat just behind, with another Alfa Romeo sat just behind that. See if that makes a difference throughout the race, as Prodigy looks to get going and then eventually elects not to. And now he goes. Prodigy gets an absolutely amazing start. Also, a very good start for Mr. Cookie, who could get a move into turn 1 and get himself past Tommy straight away. They go side by side now into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? I've got absolutely no idea, but it's an absolute madness of a turn 1. And Cookie soars through into P2. Tommy has to stay in P3 now, but will have an opportunity now down this main back straight. Sorry, can he get the move done? No, Mr. Cookie much faster in a straight line. Holds P2 for now. So Tommy's now got to work hard to try and get past 2 drivers. Mr. Cookie's gotten past 1. He'll have to try and push forward and try and get the other. Got roughly the similar ERS level, so don't worry about one holding the other. That is fairly similar, as everybody's sort of running in tandem at the moment. Kresnos holds a position at the moment, as Jackalako, by the looks of it, has lost the position to Anthony. I believe, yeah. Oh, speaking of, the McLaren's just run wide. So that opens the door for everybody else to try and get a position as he slots in right next to Kresnos, who gonna try and get the position. Can he get it done? Not quite. The McLaren soars through, and there he goes. Now he gets it done as our Henson now gets the opportunity to try and go for the McLaren. He's gonna have to go around the outside here, maybe cut to the inside on the switchback. It's not quite gonna work this time around, but will have a good enough opportunity down the main straights. Speaking of switching to the front now, we move on to nearly our final lap of racing. This is the second to last time we'll go round this corner. Mr. Cookie very, very close. Tommy even closer to the back of him. Prodigy having to cut all the way across. He's just trying to open up the track as much as he physically can. Picks up a little bit of what's it? What are those things called? I don't even know. Mr. Cookie has a little look down the inside, elects not to go for it. He knows that that's too risky of a move, but this is going to be one of the only chances to try and go for a move now, using all of his ERS he physically can, and I don't think he's quite going to be close enough to go for the Red Bull. He's just going to have to try and defend from Tommy. It's going to be that way. Jackalacco's going to try and go for the move on Kresnos, as Kresnos managed to get it down into turn one. Now, can he get it back? Not quite. They're going to continue fighting down through here. Now, can the Ferrari try, and he's going to have to go around the outside, then to the inside, then he'll have the outside for the next corner. So no, he's going to lose out, and he might even lose out to the McLaren. He might even lose out to our Henson here, who tries and sneaks his way into the fight, but it's not going to quite work out for him. Kresnos in the end does manage to keep himself in P5 for now. Jackalacco holding position in P4, and overall I say, even though Tommy has lost a position in these final two laps, I'm going to say it's pretty well rounded to have two Alfa Romeo so high. That's going to do absolute wonders for the constructors standings. Cookie's not going to have much more of an opportunity to try and get a race win out of today, as Prodigy looks to have done a good enough job so far, but we do still have one more corner where it could all go wrong. Mr. Cookie, though, is losing time to the back of Prodigy, and in fact will probably be more conscious about Tommy at the moment. He knows that pretty much the race is done, and indeed the race is. Prodigy comes home to win at Bahrain, as Mr. Cookie takes a very close P2 and a Tommy even closer P3, and everybody comes past pretty much all in tandem, as everybody was very, very close indeed. We've got three drivers just following round, two of which are ghosted, hence why they are taking their sweet, sweet time. But all of a sudden, a race, that looked so set out and to be complete, so was not. So there we have it. That is the Bahrain Grand Prix finished today. Just in time for my Elgato to start giving up. Quite warm. Very warm. Good job it's not going to be needed for much longer. Either way, congratulations to the Red Bull driver, who's done an absolutely immaculate job there, and to the podium finishers for having tremendous races themselves. So with that, Prodigy comes home to win with the Red Bull team, and Mr. Cookie takes home P2, and Tommy rounds out the podium in P3. Kresnos in P4, and Jackalacco in P5. Our Henson P6, and J-Horse... J-Horse P7. Oh, no. I want the results of the race. What am I talking about? Right. Prodigy P1, Cookie P2, Tommy P3, Jackalacco P4, Kresnos P5, our Henson P6, Anthony P7, Hazard P8, Alligator P9, Kodoy P10, Marek P11, Blackbone P12, Exilus P13, Smeary P14, Jezza P15, and J-Horse P16 rounds out the lot and rounds out our race. Right, unfortunately, I've got to leave in rather quick time, so not going to be able to do interviews tonight. But thank you all very much for joining me. I've been the Characteristics. Thank you, and good night.